All right, 2K. I'm not buying it, but I'm looking at the review. Well, why they got? They gave it 3.3 dislikes, 3.3K dislikes, 1.9K likes. Crazy. 2K. Let's see what's going on this year. I'm gonna wait for it to come out on Game Pass, but we'll see.
In many ways,
we'll see
Visual Concepts' long-running NBA 2K series mirrors the careers of players it works so hard to emulate. Sometimes it's a flash of potential, a hotshot rookie catching fire after putting up duds in consecutive games. Others, it's more comparable to a wily veteran nearing retirement. We see a glimpse of talent, a peek into what it could still be. NBA 2K26 is a bit of both. It's flashy and old school, like a how do we do, fellow kids teacher who wears different Jordans to class every day and has cool enough new kicks, fits, and gimmicks to make it a much more interesting and enjoyable experience than last year's entry.
Double right there. That's how they score a lot of their points. That's why Jokic be having like 15 assists. He's great at identifying the.
Of course, cool isn't probably the right word to describe that
where the help is coming from,
let alone NBA 2K26. After all, an annual sports game is obviously not going to be a radically new game, since most of its gameplay and mechanics are fundamentally similar to last year's iteration. And the one before that, and so on. But in the context of the genre, it's made a good first impression, mostly because of the several minor improvements that cumulatively make such a huge difference to the whole. Yes, I am talking about the new and improved shot meter. As always, one of the smallest components in the vast hardwood floor of dribbling and crisscrossing parts leaves a massive influence on how just about everything else on the court plays out.
See? I can't miss.
If you didn't
the shooting in 2K25 was ass. I don't want to hear no get good, no none of that. It's verified by people that play the game way more than me, and I played the game a lot. I streamed it a lot. That shooting was ass, bro. Ass. You got people buying Chronos, just cheating to get the. That's the only way. It's the only way you can get it. It don't matter if you change the low risk, high risk, whatever. Like, the shooting was just ass. If you didn't green it, you're not making it.
Since last year's shot meter, well, lucky you. In place of that nightmare-inducing dial arrow ring design from 2K25, 2K26 features a much more intuitive, easier to time, and infinitely better curved shot meter. If you've heard that before, it's because it's similar to 2K23. But this isn't entirely a reversion to that. Instead of remaining static, the new meter's green field adjusts based on defensive coverage. If a defender is right in your face, you'll have practically no chance of making the shot. But if you're open, it'll be much easier to time the release and make the shot.
Yeah, because 2K25, even if you're open, you could ankle break your defender, pull up. And your midi or your three could be at 85 or better, 89, 90. If you don't green it, you're not making it. Or if you don't have badges, like at least a silver badge for that, whatever you're trying to do, like a shot off the dribble or catch and shoot, you're not making it. Not making it, twin.
It's so much more fun shooting jumpers now than it was last year because it's easier to make consistently. There is a slight trade-off, though. Because it's easier to get green,
they got 3-on-3.
There's also less room for imperfection, meaning if you get a slightly early or slightly late timing, you might as well start running back on defense because the shot will more than likely break.
Yeah, she off.
But it's not just the shot meter that's worth shining a spotlight on. An even bigger and arguably more important tweak is the noticeable change to player movement. While NBA 2K25's motion made it feel like players were stuck running in quicksand, 2K26 makes running, cutting, and defending so much smoother. And since it permeates every single mode, it makes the entire system feel less robotic and far more natural and enjoyable.
Hey.
Plus, it makes the new gameplay feature, go-to post shots.
Now you know damn well Joker ain't catching and dunking it like that. He ain't never caught it and dunked it like that in his career. Why they fronting? It's not that he can't dunk, but he ain't doing that athletic catch turn. He's not doing that.
And
Stop
realistic. Remember last year how you couldn't dominate the paint with Jokic's or Embiid's shimmy shake fadeaways? Well, now you can spam the somber shuffle an ungodly amount of times in each match you play because the AI can't stop it. In the immortal words of Shaq, it's barbecue chicken.
Barbecue
each
chicken.
time down the
Oh yeah, I'm making a forward this year. Oh yeah, I'm making a forward this year. Say less. I was gonna do my usual point guard, but I'm making a forward this year. I'm making a power forward. Kevin Garnett.
Now for the bad news.
Whole lot.
You thought it was going to be all good from here on out? Sorry, Dorothy, but the years haven't been kind to this yellow brick road. We're talking about 2K26's offline-only modes here. Last year, the so-called improvements to MyNBA were underwhelming, to say the least. This time, dear friends, they are practically non-existent, and it is very disappointing. With 2K25, we at least had the addition to the Steph era, even though it already felt redundant alongside two other areas in the 2010s, in addition to the LeBron era. Are you ready to hear what NBA 2K26 MyNBA modes have in store? Drumroll, please. You know, don't even bother. It's called Off-Screen Scenarios for MyGM. These are tailor-made, long-term quests for each franchise that you must fulfill to appease the fan base, and more importantly, the owner. These scenarios come in threes and are given out at the beginning of the off-season, but much like the issues with last year's MyGM mode, these tasks feel forced and at times unrealistic. The RPG elements with their perk and attribute point systems seems out of place and unnecessary because they hardly make a difference in the grand scheme of basketball operations. At the end of the day, it's still all about winning as many games and championships as you can. Or if you're on the other end of the spectrum, losing and tanking as much as possible to get back into playoff contention. At this point, NBA 2K's offline modes are a desert. And as easy as it would be to stay in this familiar, comfortable place of habitual sameness, dying of thirst sounds like an awful way to go. Luckily, this next part is an oasis, a place of revitalizing respite that makes it easier to continue.
Yeah, the park. Apparently the park is dope this year. I don't know how true that is.
Just to be clear, the oasis being referred to is not the city, although it is a massive relief that each location in the typically huge hub is easier to access than ever. The place has been revamped in a great way. Everything from the arena where you play the NBA games to the rec is now only a short skate away. Some places are even interconnected, so you'll have more time to enjoy schooling and being schooled in the art of green. Called Out of Bounds, this year's MyCareer focuses once again on MP and his journey to the pros, but instead of a deathless series of events where the games you play have practically no bearing on what team you land or pick you get drafted at, it's the opposite. You start out as a no-name high school player in the middle of nowhere, Vermont, where your chances of making it to the NBA are frighteningly slim. In other words, you have to show out in every game, whether that's the youth team you play for or the European club you join. Your performances and the choices you make along the way all have an impact on your NBA future.
Whole lot.
And that's what it should always be about. A huge part of what made this mode so exciting when it was first introduced in 2K10 was its ability to capture just how difficult it is to make it into the NBA. A dream millions of kids have, but only a few hundred get to turn into reality. Your teammate grades have to be stellar, and your performances have to be on point if you wanted a chance at getting drafted in the lottery, let alone in the first round. This latest journey, while it doesn't quite mirror that path, hits all the right emotional and storytelling notes, making it the best MyCareer story in years.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I feel like there was no better like my player stories than back in the old ones when they first started making them. Like, I don't know. To me, it's just maybe I'm just old school. There's no W in microtransactions.
In this economy, spending too much on unnecessary stuff is a one-way ticket to financial crisis, and virtual currency falls into that category. Thankfully, getting kitted out with a respectable starting squad in my team is easy. That is, if you don't mind grinding. Much like last year, you just have to complete the tutorials, and that will give you a decent enough starting 5 that could keep up in the lower ranks. But decent is never enough, is it? The false promise of a shinier veneer, the devilish contract that is microtransactions, is always there, peeking its ugly head.
I wish I would fall for that shit.
Each online mode. They continue to be one of the biggest black marks in what has otherwise been NBA 2K26's relatively clean sheet. MyCareer, as usual, is especially infected by its thick, suffocating miasma. Oh, you wanted a 99 OVR player? Yeah, that'll cost you around 500,000 VC. Want to create another one with a different build? Selling a kidney might help. It's so easy to just tell people to ignore these because you technically can, but the reality is that they are made to be enticing and undeniably predatory. Buy something once and it becomes easier to buy it again, and the cycle goes on with millions of people worldwide. Don't even get me started on my team, also known as Microtransactions Central. Because as soon as it opens up, it assaults you with a screen full of season pass ads and virtual currency deals. It isn't all that bad though. This year's edition of WNBA players makes it easier to get high-rated players. But adding the W to my team doesn't just magically erase the influence of overpriced superstar packs and
she really nice
players.
though. She's dead ass
As long as
nice.
they remain, and they more than likely will, there will never be
From
a
Asia
W
Wilson.
in microtransactions. Belief and disappointment can go hand in hand.
Nah,
Just
Nemhard,
as
he's
a
nice.
fan.
Like, he's a
The
dog.
crushing blow of losing
He's definitely the
Lingers
future of the
was eventually
Pacers, along with
replaced by
Halliburton.
newfound fervor, a flicker of hope that maybe this time things will be different. With the NBA 2K series, it's mostly been frustrating in recent years because we so often end up being disappointed.
Wow.
But NBA 2K26 bucks that trend with a MyCareer mode that's the best it's been in years, thanks to an amazing prelude story. A handful of tweaks, most notably the updated shot meter and player movement, tie everything together nicely so that the gameplay in each mode is less stressful and more rewarding. Unfortunately, these excellent improvements also highlight the imperfections, with MyGM continuing to stand out like a disgruntled benchwarmer. But overall, NBA 2K26 is the equivalent of a team that's a few pieces away from contending, making this year's catchphrase, ball over everything, pretty fitting if you don't count the endless microtransactions in all the online modes. Because if you've got the core performing this well and all eyes are on the on-court action,
8? Oh, wow. 8 is crazy.
Imperfections. For more on this year's sports games, check out our reviews of Madden NFL 26 or F1 25. And for everything else, stick with IGN.
I mean, I don't think that. Okay, let's see this play. Wow. I don't think that like changes the fact of the predatory microtransaction. I'll tell you what, if you're watching this video, you got this far, if you didn't do so already, let me know your review of 2K, what you think of 2026, because I'm not buying it until it's free. And I will buy VC just to get my character up to snuff, but I'm not going to sit there and give y'all my money up front and give y'all the VC money. Y'all going to get one or the other. And I'm making content on it to get my bread back. So it is what it is. But let's look at the comments. You can't tell me 2K didn't sponsor this vid. NBA 2K should rename my park to your wallet. You accidentally uploaded NBA 2025 footage. You sound dumb. Never in my life paid for upgrade my player, so that makes no sense. You say, no, but let's be for real, bro. Come on, Maiden Staten. Like, let's be for real. For you to grind, it's already confirmed that they slow your player down when you leave your player on the lower ranks. Your player you really don't get the range of freedom until you get your character to like an 85, which requires you to pay. You're not gonna go from 60 to 85 on day one without paying. So don't say that. Like, come on. You don't have to pay, but let's be fucking for real. If you want to keep up with everybody, day one, you're gonna have to pay. Or you're gonna have to log hundreds and hundreds of hours just to get to a 75, let alone an 85, let alone a 99. Because as you go up more, it costs more skill points to upgrade your character. Like, let's be for real. Even if you do your gym activities every day and you play part games all day, it'll take you hundreds of hours to gain even 10 overalls. Go up 10 points in your overall. Like, let's be for real. Let's cut the bullshit. So here we go. Damn, I gotta stop cursing, man. They gonna keep restricting my videos. But yeah. So NBA 2K26 apparently, according to IGN, they give it an 8. But what I don't see change, which is why I'm not buying it right away, is just the microtransactions, the pay-to-win elements, and just the predatory behavior. There's a great video by the Black Hokage on how they use tactics that casino use to make you have FOMO, fear of missing out, and create artificial scarcity with the microtransactions, and how they make you pay for platinum players and amethyst players, and how they make it impossible to have a 60 overall player and be successful in the park without putting in hours and hours and hours for limited success. And they slow your player down. So I don't know about that 8 rating. We'll see. Y'all let me know what y'all think. But y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments, right? So y'all already know the vibes. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. It's your boy JusticeXFalls, and we out. Come on.